Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to our second episode of Sembrani 2.0 Heritage Around Earth. So we are delighted to have you to join us for today's insightful sessions on our uncovering the past through archaeological and also rock art. So our esteemed speakers today is Associate Professor Dr. Zul Iskandar Ramli from ATMA UKM, and also Dr. Saw Chow Yi from Departments of Anthropology and Sociology from University Malaya. So both of them will take us on a journey beneath the surface and exploring the history hidden in the Nangiri Valley, and also the rock art significance by Dr. Saw. So these platforms, the Sembrani 2.0 is actually initiated by ICOMOS Malaysia to celebrate the richness of our culture heritage. So for today, let's everyone engage, learn, and appreciate the stories that shapes our identity as a Malaysia. Before we proceed to our sessions, let me share the brief overview for today's program. We will begin with these two sessions. So Dr. Zul Iskandar and Dr. Saw will present, and then after that, we will open for short Q&A. Towards the end, we will share our upcoming programs on the heritage-related event, and we will have a group photo session. Hopefully, by 5:30, we will finish our sessions. Let us proceed with our first sessions. Let me introduce our first speaker. Associate Professor Dr. Zul Iskandar Ramli is currently an Associate Professor at Institute of the Malay World and Civilizations, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and he is also a President of Ikatan Ahli Archaeology Malaysia. He received his Bachelor of Science in Industrial Chemistry from UPM, Masters of Letter Archaeometry, and his PhD on Archaeology from UKM. His current research interests are archaeological, archaeometry, and also heritage studies. So by that, for today's Dr. Zul Iskandar will share his experience on rescue archaeology in changing Nangiri Valley, preserving Malaysia prehistoric past. I give the screens to you, Dr. Zul. Thank you. You have 20 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm here today to talk about fascinating projects, which is a rescue archaeology excavation in a changing Nangiri Valley. This project represents a crucial effort to preserve Malaysia prehistoric past in the face of modern development, and it's a story of collaboration, discovery, and the importance of protecting our shared heritage. So the slide shows you the diorama of Ningiri Hydroelectric Project, or diorama of Ningiri Hydroelectric Dams, which is now located in Hulu Kelantan or Nangiri Valley. So this project was started around 2020, March 2020, and the development still occur today. Okay, for the HIA or Heritage Impact Assessment, identify and protecting archaeological sites. So the story begins with the Nangiri Hydroelectric Projects, a significant step towards energy sustainability in Malaysia. However, the construction of the dam threatened a valley rich in archaeological sites and remains. To address this, TNB Power Generation Sdn Bhd or TNB Genco, in collaboration with the UKM Colonial Sdn Bhd, conducted a detailed heritage impact assessment or HIA, based on National Heritage Act 645, where Department of National Heritage is the stakeholder. So the HIA's primary goal was to identify and document all the sites of archaeological significance within the Nenggiri Valley. This involves surveying the area, consulting with experts, and assessing the potential impacts of the dam construction. So the HIA allowed us to develop strategies to minimize damage and disruption to cultural resources through several proposed mitigation measures, ensuring that we approach the project with sensitivity and respect for our past. So the picture shows the prehistoric sites located in the Nenggiri Valley. So some traces of the rock art, which my colleague will present after this. Some of the rock art. And then the Gua Kimiri, located in the picture of Gua Kimiri, which is located at Nenggiri Valley. So for the second part, the mitigation measures, prioritizing heritage preservation. So for this, recognizing the urgent need to protect these heritage materials, TNB Genco took proactive steps to facilitate large-scale excavation and recovery operation at 13 limestone cave or rock art, 13 limestone cave or rock shelters located within the project area. This was not a small undertaking. It required careful planning, a significant resources, and a dedicated team of archaeologists to do all this rescue excavation work. So these mitigation measures were designed to ensure that any archaeological find were carefully excavated and then documented and preserved before the area were impacted by the dam construction. It was a race against time to salvage as much information as possible from their valuable site. So the Nenggiri River has crucial role as a place to find food and medium for water transport since prehistoric time. So the river, the Nenggiri River, for the rescue excavation, uncovering the prehistoric treasures. So the rescue excavation project yield an incredible wealth of artifacts, offering a rare glimpse into the region prehistoric past. In total, we discovered over more than 70,000 artifacts and also ecofacts. This included a diverse range of artifacts such as stone tool, pottery fragments, scatter remain, and also a lot of ecofacts which associated with the diet of the prehistoric people. So most of the findings were associated with the ecofacts, which foods remain from the deposit of the prehistoric cave or sites. So among most remarkable find was a complete human skeleton at Gua Keledong Kecil, estimated to be between 14,000 to 16,000 years old. So this discovery is particularly significant as it provides valuable insights into the physical characteristic, diet, and lifestyle of early inhabitants of the Negeri Valley. This skeleton helps tell the story of those who lived in Malaysia thousands of years ago. So this finding collectively highlight the cultural significance of the Negeri Valley and reinforce the importance of preserving such sites for future generations. So the picture shows the excavation activities in several caves in Negeri Valley. So the heart of this project lay in the intensive salvage excavation conducted at those 13 limestone cave and rock shelter. So the team led by UKM Pakarunding Sian Berhad through its Institute of the Malay World and Civilization and me as a project director faced a challenging task. We had to meticulously excavate and analyze the site to recover any prehistoric material before the site were permanently submerged or undated due to the dam construction. So this involved carefully removing layers of sediments, identifying the culture layers, documenting artifacts, and meticulously recording their context. Every piece of pottery, every stone tool, every bone fragment offer a clue to understanding the past. The urgency of the situation meant that this excavation had to be conducted efficiently without compromising the quality of the archaeological work. It requires skillful coordination, specialized knowledge, and a commitment to preserving the historical data. So this picture shows several human remains associated with the prehistoric community in the Negeri Valley. Right? So those skeletons were dated from 16,000 years ago until 1,500 years ago, which associated with the Hovinian culture or pre-Neolithic culture, and also we found one skeleton or burial associated with the Neolithic culture in Guacha. So the impact of heritage protection, understanding and preserving Malay history. So the rescue archaeological project has a significant and lasting impact on heritage protection, contributing to our understanding of Malaysia prehistoric era and preserving crucial evidence of early human activities in the region. So by meticulously excavating, documenting, and preserving the artifact and site in the Negeri Valley, the project ensures that these historical treasures are not lost forever. Instead, they are now available for study, interpretation, and appreciation by the public. So the project also stands as an example of how archaeological rescue operation or excavation can safeguard our heritage and make it accessible for future generations. So the example, the picture show the example of the project was stated in the newspaper and in the what we call internet and etc. So how can the developer contribute to the protection and preservation of cultural heritage? So the Ningiri Valley project offer valuable lesson on how developer can contribute to the protection and preservation of cultural heritage. There are several strategies for this. First, the collaboration with the Department of National Heritage. And then the second, conducting heritage impact assessment to evaluate and mitigate risks to archaeological sites. And for the third, developer need to allocate budget for excavation purpose. And then the fourth, to establishing gallery and make the heritage accessible for the public. This is for the big project to establish a gallery. To establish a gallery, we need a lot of money. So TMB Genco had contribute as TMB Genco had contribute a lot to establish a gallery in Gomusang for the purpose of what we call for the purpose to what apa ni, mempamerkan in English, apa mempamerkan in English
Exhibition.
to exhibition to
Yeah.
exhibit
Yeah.
to exhibit the finding of the excavation in the Ningiri Valley, to exhibit. So this is Pusat Informasi and Repository Tapak Arkeologi Lembah Negeri. So UKM Pakurunding had set up a temporary gallery to exhibit some of the collection that were unearthed during the excavation that we done in Ningiri Valley. So this is a temporary gallery, but the gallery was already shut down. So the TMB now is in progress to build a new gallery in Gomusang, Galeri Kekal lah, Galeri Kekal in Gomusang to exhibit not all lah, some of the artifact, ecofacts that we excavated in the 13 of the prehistoric cave. They intended also to exhibit the skeleton of the human remains, the skeletal remains. Also, so community involvement. So the involvement of local community on the rescue excavation in Ningiri Valley. I want to highlight the involvement of the local community in the rescue excavation in Ningiri Valley. So during our 2 years excavation, there are many of local people that we train to help us in our to help UKM in our excavation project. So more than 20 local people that we train on the methodology of archaeological excavation and the history and the heritage of the Nengiri Valley also. We try to demonstrate. We try to teach them how to communicate with the other the other community. The importance of our project. The importance of the rescue excavation that we have done to other peoples. So the local people is our duta lah. Is our what we call duta.
Ambassador.
Sort of ambassador lah. In order to make the understanding to other community that live in Gua Musang. So the project recognize the importance of engaging with local communities to foster a sense of ownership and pride in their heritage. These are a few impacts for involving local communities. The first one is creating job for the local, and then the second one to increase awareness of the importance of the heritage and the best way to preserve it through sustainable heritage development. And for the third one is to generate economic activities through archaeotourism or heritage tourism. For the third one, generating economic activities, we have to do more because after the dam construction was completed, so it is up to us, the researchers and NGO, to educate the local people and to train the local people in order them to ambil kesempatan to take the opportunity, yes, to take the opportunity in the industry of tourism, especially on archaeotourism and also heritage tourism. So this two type of tourism, hopefully can contribute to the local economy lah. So yeah, increase generating economic activities. So the picture shows the activity that involved in our excavation. So so those who involved in our excavation, beside the students, beside the master or PhD student, there were a lot of local people, local workers that helping us in order to settle, not settle, in order to complete, in order us to complete the rescue excavation project. So we were given 2 years to complete all the rescue excavation that involved 13 prehistoric cave or rock shelter. So I would like to thank the local people who help us, that we also think bit, but they also, for me, they also contribute a lot lah in this project, in order for UKM to achieve the target that gave by the TNB Genco. So this is our campsite. So sometimes we stay in the cave for 2 months or 4 months in the cave without any communication, without any internet, without any phone line, without any phone line. So we set up a campsite. This picture shows our campsite in Gochawan, where we stayed there for 4 months to excavate the Gochawan, the Gojaya and Gogamalah in the middle of the jungle. So every day we have been scared by the elephants, elephant, and sometimes the tigers come nearly to our campsites. So those was the challenges in our projects. So for the conclusions, so I come to the end. So in conclusion, the rescue archaeology in the changing Nenggiri Valley represent a powerful example of how infrastructure development and cultural preservation can coexist. So the collaborative effort of the NB Genco, UKM Pakarunding Siam Berhad, the Department of National Heritage, and the local community have resulted in the discovery, documentation, and preservation of significant prehistoric treasures. So this project not only safeguards Malaysia's rich cultural legacy, but also set a precedent for future development projects to prioritize heritage protection. And that's all for the short time. Thank you for your attention. Any question you can ask me. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Zul Iskandar. It's very interesting stories, and also we can see there is a very meticulous and in-depth research actually to safeguard the Nenggiri Valley. So we will open the Q&A after our next speakers. So our next speakers is Dr. Sao Chow Ye. Dr. Sao Chow Ye is actually a senior lecturer in the Department of Anthropology and Sociology, Faculty of Art and Social Science, University Malaya. Her research focused on anthropological archaeology with a specializations in rock art studies. So she has conducted surveys and documentations on rock art sites across Peninsular Malaysia, exploring their culture, significance, and connections to the local communities and the broader Southeast Asian region. So with the topic of not just a rock, what rock art tell us about the past. So the screen is yours, Dr. Sal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just let me share my screen. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are just going to talk about art and rocks. So at first, I'm just going to go into a definition of rock art. According to IFRAO, it's non-utilitarian anthropic markings on rock surfaces made either by additive process or reductive process. In short, it's any kinds of man-made markings on the rock. So on the left, you see the red bowl, that's from Altamira Cave. That one is made by additive process. So you add something onto the rock. And then the other one is reductive process, which means you carve it. So you reduce the rock surface to create an image. Throughout the world, we know a lot of different types of rock art, from America to Africa to China, India, Indonesia, Australia. But not many people knows about the rock art in Malaysia. It's always like Southeast Asian is always like the missing piece in rock art. Hang on, where do I program? Rock art sites Malaysia. This I extract from my book on the Kinta Valley rock art because it's the latest one I have. This is the distribution of rock art sites in Malaysia. We have red rock art and black rock art. But this is still not the complete one. This is mainly based on published articles. There are a lot of sites that the locals already reported to us, but we have not had the chance to go and document the site, which is why I didn't put it in. As you can see, we have a very high concentration in Perak and also Kelantan, but I believe there's more in Pahang as well, and also Perlis and Perak. It's just that our surveys these days mostly focus in Perak, and because of the collaboration with the local communities where they help us to survey the site and report to us, then only researchers will go in for documentation. So this is a very good example on how collaboration with local communities can actually accelerate this research. So all of these photos are the rock art in Malaysia, but also include Sabah, Sarawak, but they're still Malaysia. And most of them are found at rock shelter or inside a cave. Rock shelter means a place which is literally just a shelter. You cannot enter it. All of the rock art, they are usually placed at at place that natural sunlight can reach. Rarely we'll see rock art inside a deep dark cave like those in European countries. So this is another characteristics of Malaysian rock art. You can see they comes in very different types and very different styles. The first row we see those rock art from Perak, Tambun, Masurat, and then we also have a more modern period like this one, animal riders, even with a howdah on top, and then boats, very complicated drawing boats, possibly a large one because we can see 2 to 3 masts, meaning it's a very large ones. And this one is from Pahang. Interestingly, everyone has different interpretations on this one. Some say it's like a turtle. Some say it's like a lion skin, which is like you peel it and then you hang on top. But until now, nobody actually knows what it is about. The lower one, I put some of the petroglyph. So petroglyphs actually comes in different types of carving. You can have very shallow carvings. You can have those that's very deeply carved. And this one is actually in Malaysia, the last one. It's in, not Malaysia, sorry, Negeri Sembilan. That's a Pangkalan Kempas Megalith complex. Megalith literally means huge rocks. Mega means big, leaf means rock. So it's really huge. That's me over here. You can see how tall is the rock. You can see a replica in Museum Negara. This is also a type of rock art because the definition is just man-made markings. It's a very big definition, I know, but this is how we consider as rock art for now. There's another type, geoglyph, but in Malaysia, we don't really find that. So rock art tells us a lot about different types of stories of the past. This one is actually from Gua Tambun. As you can see, looks like a human figure and then something with like 7 stripes or something. Just to give an example on the multiple interpretations of rock art, for researchers, we categorize the left one as a monkey, or some say that it's an orang asli that has a sumpit, holds a sumpit and then it's hunting. Some people say the orange color ones is actually petai, and some say it's actually trees, or some say giant octopus. And interestingly, I conduct oral interviews with a group of orang asli from Ulu Kinta. There's one elderly man who actually tells me that this reminds him of the the myth of the 7 waterfalls hidden deep inside the hills. So according to them, there's this waterfall that branch out in 7 streams, and then there will be a penunggu or guardian sitting on top. So rock art actually brings us a lot of different meanings that we will attach to a space, and this will definitely affect the visitors. So imagine at first, the first group of people arrive at the cave. It's a blank canvas. You just see the rock surfaces, and then they started to paint something. The next group, when they look at this space, it's completely different. There's already a figure on top. So how they assign meaning will be completely different as well. And if you look closely to this purple figure, you can see that it's actually painted much later than the orange figure, because it was painted after the wall exfoliated. But the orange figure was painted before the wall fell off. So all these things is going to affect how we utilize a space. If we are saying that they use this space as a ritual space, they use this space as a sacred place, all these things are the information that we can try to extract from rock art. All right. And also it can show us the cultural connections between different places. On the left, you see the rock art from Gua Tambun, which was dated to about 3,000 to 5,000 BCE. And then this image from India that was believed to have been made at least 5,000 years ago. It's very similar in terms of the composition, the styles. Look at the tail, the ears, the nose of the, maybe a deer, maybe a cow. And look at how they place the baby animal inside the tummy. It's very far from us, but could this shows a cultural linkage between these two places, because you cannot have so much of similarity, and it's definitely possible for the cultural group to travel across land to Malaysia during that time. And then there are many other more rock art that is completely, we know that it's definitely full of meanings, but we don't know what do they mean. As you can see, the first one on the top left, there's a lot of human figures. And then in archaeology, usually when we don't know what is it, it's for ritual purpose. But we don't know. Well, we also can see that there are some animal figures below. And then on the right, this one, a lady with the earring. This one is closely related, not closely related, but closely resembles the adornments of the Orang Asli in Perak, where they actually put flowers in their ears to have very big earrings and have a top knot on top. People are arguing whether the line in between the face is actually a tattoo or not, or it's just markings from the rock. But we simply do not know, because these are all prehistoric and we don't know the cultural groups that actually produce this rock art. Below, you can see something like a sun figure and a personal human figure standing maybe inside a paddy field. So one of the interpretations will be it could be related to fertility, agriculture. And then the one on the bottom right is a giant lizard-like thing, or maybe a crocodile. But we simply do not know. It's very big, it's more than 1 meter long. It's drawn on the ceiling. And then there are some rock art that actually shows very clearly what types of things they are drawing. These are the rock art that we believe that they are much more recent, definitely, because you can see cars, you can see aeroplanes, you can see the camps and the 3 stripes, the flag with 3 stripes. So for example, the camps with the flags with 3 stripes, it could be the VOC flag, which is the Dutch East Indies companies, or it could actually be the Perak state flag. So this can help us to try to position. If it was made by is representing the flag of the VOC, then during that period, someone occupied this space. Or if it's showing the flag of the Perak state, then that's another group of people. But of course, it's never just that you look at one picture and then you'll know that, oh, this is definitely for this use or that use. You need to combine multiple evidence to show. Like the first one, you see an elephant. Definitely in the past, elephant passed through this place. Although the elephant no longer pass through this place anymore, although the place is now a residential area, but it can help us to reconstruct the past environment, same as the boats. You can see 3-masted boats indicating it must be a really huge river. So this one is the one that we find close to at Masurat. So it used to be just like 1 kilometer away from Kinta River. In the past, Kinta River is one of the main trading routes, but now you don't see boats sailing across there in the inland areas anymore. And then the aeroplane is also very interesting because it was found at inside a cave that used to be close to a forest camp. And historical documents actually say that in the past, the British military, they sent the planes to give the food resource to the people in the forest. And then we can see we can see swords. Then another way, this is the one from Gua Badak in Lenggong. Unfortunately, our only complete documentation is by Evans in 1927. Now the site has already been destroyed by quarry. And through this, we can see how the people actually perceive what are they doing with the rock art. They are recording what happens in the village. Here you can see there are some cars, if you can find. A person holding a bow and arrow is the ethnographic evidence that the Orang Asli Lano Negreto in the past actually used bow and arrow. So it actually complements with anthropological ethnographic evidence. Another way to rock art can tell us is that it actually depicts a signs of struggle and elite indigenous conflict. This is a research done by a group of Australian researchers for Guasire in Sarawak. They actually dated the rock art to about 17th to 18th century. Combining with the historical evidence, they noticed that this was, during that time, this place was used as a hideout. And from there, the local communities actually draw this rock art, maybe as a sign of power to during that time of conflict. And also, rock art is actually something that shows national identity and cultural identity. I don't know if every one of you here noticed that Wat Pamuk rock art was actually depicted on the 39th Southeast Asian Games in 2017 on the opening ceremony, just passed through. So it's something that we can really be proud of. And this is, although not an example from Malaysia, but it's from Thailand, how rock art helps them to reconstruct the past environment. It was found at Viking Cave. All these boats is clearly that some is from China, some is from Indonesia, and they even do the boat typography. So all these A, B, C, D, E, F, G, they can categorize it into what type of boat it is. And then they can narrow down which countries actually pass through here and do some tradings with Thailand during that time. And another thing about rock art is actually, apart from the more anthropological and historical part, there's also the technology part that it tells us. These are some of the rock art sites that I have been to. And one of the questions we are always asking is, how do they reach there? This is, of course, this is AI generated. You can see everyone has a very weird face. But when someone is making rock art, they need to know how to make it, where to get the resources, what are the recipes, what color do you want to create. And all this is some of the things that we archaeologists can use to do research on, to know how past societies utilize the landscape and how current society utilize the landscape, and how will we utilize the landscape in the future. For example, the one at Gua Tambun, that's me, and the rock art is so high up on the wall. How did people make it? How did they climb up? How much paint do they need? So this one, we believe that they might have been, they might constructed a bamboo scaffolding so that they can reach that high. But the question still remains on how did they construct it? How many people do you need to construct this scaffolding? And how long will it last? This is an example from Spain that actually did an experimental approach to see how do the people in the past create the paint. You need to source the materials, you need to crush the materials, you need to add different types of binder like goat milk, some add the blood of animals, and how can you prepare different colors, different hues. See, there are a lot of different colors, and what does it mean to the society? So it's almost at the last. It's not intended for comparison, but just to provide a bird's eye view of the timeline. Because a lot of people don't know much about archaeology in Malaysia. And usually the first thing, just an example, we know Van Gogh. Most people know Van Gogh, a very famous artist. That's where his artwork exists. Angkor Wat is right here. And then the famous Giza Pyramid, Terracotta Army, Toy Chariot of Indus Valley. These are all the more well-known archaeological sites. Wat Tambun was believed to be made around this time. We don't have the exact scientific dating, but it's a relative dating. And the concentration of rock art production in Malaysia is just there, that small part, small box. And all this is just so small. The history of human creation goes far back. The oldest rock art currently found in the world is actually from Liang Karampuang, Indonesia, which was made 51,000 years ago. And then we have Liang Terdonge, we have Shelvert Cave, we also have figurines, banners of holophils, and more. So this just to show us how little we know about our past and how can rock art, we need more research on rock art to actually know what's going on everywhere. So yeah, that's all my sharing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sao. Very interesting stories also. So so now we can open the floor for Q&A from the audience. You may type the questions on the box, chat box, or else you can raise your hands. The feature that you have in this Zoom. Any questions from audience? Dr. Zuliskandar, we have like one questions on the chat box. He asked, and Cik Khairuddin asked about Nengiri. Is it open for public or just for researcher?
Okay. Thank you for the question. So for the prehistoric site in Negeri Valley, so I don't know whether some of the site we can get access or not, because the construction of the dam, because the construction of the dam already many construction activities have been done in the area. So some of the area we can access by the boats only, such as Gua Cawan, Gua Jaya, and also Gua apa ni? Gua forgot what prehistoric site we can only access by boats, and then we have to stay one night in order to see all the cave in that area near the Sungai Perias, and near the site was located near to the Sungai General, so we have to stay one night in order to visit all the three cave, because we have no time to go back for one day trip. So some of the caves such as Gua Cha and Gua Peraling, we can only access by 4x4. 4x4. So for other sites in Post Pulat, we can also maybe we can visit, but the suitable transport to go there is by 4x4 lah, 4x4. So we cannot visit the site by bycast, bycar.
Atma tak ada buat program ke like open to the public and then bawa ke sana, Doktor?
And not yet lah. Because we have to set apa tu, kena setting apa tu time lah, in order to we go to in order for us to go there, kena betul-betul setting the time lah, bukan apa ni bukan apa tu head off punya visit lah,
Faham?
because all those apa tu difficulty lah, maybe we have to get the permission from the DMB in order to go there. But Gocha and Gorpaling, we don't have any problem lah if you want to go there, Gocha and Gorpaling. But you must go there by 4x4.
All right. Thank you.
Some of the, I don't know, some people ask me to guide them for visit to Negeri Beli, but the time is not the time they ask me is not apa ni suitable lah, because during the monsoon apa ni
Season.
monsoon punya musim hujan dia susah sikit nak pergi. It's difficulty because of the apa tu, because of the road tu.
Okay. Faham?
Mhm.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Zul Iskandar. Okay, we have the question from Dr. Saiful Shahidan. Question to Dr. Saw. What is your view on the dating of the oldest rock art in Malaysia as compared to our neighbors like Indonesia or others?
So the ones in Indonesia, they were actually scientifically dated, but in Malaysia, we do not have the scientific dates yet, which is why it's all relatively dated. So we think that it could be 5,000 years ago. But I strongly believe that in Malaysia, we definitely can find some rock art that could be contemporary as the one in Indonesia, which is 51,000 years ago. That's a possibility. I have no guarantee. But then there's definitely this possibility that we'll find something that's much older than what we believe it is right now.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dr. Saw. Dr. Saw, so we have a question, Dr. Zul Iskandar from Encik Faizal, our
Okay.
president. His question is, you mentioned there are over 70,000 artifacts in the valley. Did you rescue all or just some only?
No, the 70,000 plus artifact and icofact, all those from the 2 years project. So we apa tu? Sorry, sometimes I forget the word lah.
Tak apa, doktor boleh campur je. It's okay. Ini
It's
santai-santai.
okay.
Boleh. You can
So
bilingual.
but most of the finding were associated with apa tu? Ecofacts. Ecofacts ni adalah food remains. So most of the findings was on the food remains. Totally more than apa tu? 40,000 to 50,000 is apa tu? Food remains, such as apa tu? Freshwater snail and the apa tu? Fauna remain. So kalau stone tool, we collected more than 10,000 stone tool, and also pieces of pottery, which associated with the Neolithic punya culture. So those 7 70,000 plus finding is apa tu is now we is now located in the apa tu our repository store in apa tu TMB punya campsites. So after this, all those artifacts and ecofact will be apa ni located in the new gallery that will be built by TMB in the future. Maybe in the middle of this year, TMB hopefully started to build a new gallery to put all those artifacts that we found during our excavation in the new gallery, to exhibit and also put in the store lah.
Okay. So there will be exhibition after that, right, to the public?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So we have another question for Dr. Zul Iskandar from Prof. Dr. Norvina. Please share how to get the opportunity to collaborate with the developer to make the opportune preservations of the nation history. Was it announced by TNB to allow university to collaborate or part of tender document where Jabatan Warisan Negara Heritage Archaeological Act that was inscribed in the document? Just a query for the future mega development heritage preservation opportunity.
To get the opportunity to collaborate with the developer.
Uh-uh.
So UKM involved in this project since the EIA punya assessment. And then after EIA assessment, UKMP also involved in HIA and HIA assessment. So for the opportunity adalah semasa EIA and HIA, because whoever did the HIA and EIA will be responsibility to do the rescue excavation. So kalau Dr. Nirwana ke ataupun Puan Nirwana, so the opportunity, the first opportunity tu kena tengok semasa EIA and juga EIA dan juga HIA untuk projek-projek yang besar tu. So selepas tu akan ada ulasan daripada Jabatan Warisan Malaysia, Jabatan Warisan Negara, adakah perlu, is it possible, or is it compulsory to do the rescue excavation or etc. lah. Sebelum tu kena ambil peluang semasa EIA dan juga HIA dulu. Sebabnya
I mean that they advertise ke dekat
they advertise.
Advertise to the public untuk
advertise and untuk EIA dan juga untuk EIA tu ataupun HIA tu, the developer akan carilah konsultan yang berpengalaman dan sesuai untuk sesuatu kawasan tu. For archaeology, certain area was certain area such as in Kelantan was dah dikaji oleh pengkaji-pengkaji daripada universiti ni. Selalunya dia akan pergi ke siapa yang banyak buat kajian di kawasan tersebut lah. For example, for Lenggong, most of the EIA and HIA was done by the USM punya archaeologists. But in Kelantan, UKM since early 90s, we already get involved in the archaeological punya research and in Hulu Kelantan. That was the apa ni itu adalah apa ni kita punya what we call kita punya merit lah, our merit lah, to do the EIA or HIA in those apa tu specific location lah. Faham? Understand? Do I jawab
Prof?
jawab the soalan?
Prof. Dorina,
Yes,
did,
yes, yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. I'm just
Uh,
putting in the chat box that my query is more towards this recent cry about the urban renewal. So it can be part of that. You still have heritage in even in urban cities or urban area. So how can we go along preserving our heritage? Thank you. Yeah.
right, thank you, Prof. So the next question for Dr. Saw. What is the level of preservation, conservations of Malaysia rock art? Are they exposed to any kind of threats? What are the measures taken to protect them, if any? Doctor?
Yeah. Hi, can I answer this together with the following questions by Abdul Rahman Omar, because I think both of them are quite related. So
Correct.
I answer both of them together.
Mm.
So unfortunately, there's no preservation or conservation done for Malaysian rock arts. They are exposed to a lot of threats, not just human threats, but also natural threats. And what are the measures taken to protect them? For now, there is none. But I did have a meeting with the Kinta Geopark last month, and we are talking about how we can actually create a 3D documentation for the rock art of Kinta. Maybe we can start from every place, but I'm also looking into low cost 3D scans, because 3D scanning is very expensive, but if we're able to do it using our mobile phones or anything that everyone can do, then we can train a group of local communities to help us, which is I'm planning on that thing at the moment. So maybe this week or next week, I'm actually meeting the local people of Kinta to see what we can do. Maybe a training session on using the 3D scans that's low budget. Of course, it won't be as accurate as the very expensive 3D scanner, but yeah, at least we have a database on this one.
Okay. So the other question, just extension questions, Dr. Saw. Which department is actually responsible for preserve the rock art from Ganesh, Mr. Ganesh?
Rock art in Malaysia. No, we do not have it, and it's barely mentioned in the National Heritage Law even, because rock art is quite a new field of studies in Malaysia. So hopefully in the future they will really include it in like a proper, more detailed policy on what we can do for this rock art. But at the moment also we don't have a lot of rock art researchers, so I do hope if there are a lot more students, people that wants to contribute to rock art research, just drop me an email. Thank you.
So then the other questions also regards to the rock art. How has the declarations of Kinta area as geopark helped in preserving the loss of more rock arts? Will there be a study or survey on rock arts in that after that the declarations?
Yeah, that's the one that I mentioned just now to answer it together. Yeah, so we now just try to do a documentation first, because that's the most practical and the fastest thing that we can do at this phase. The rest, we need a longer term of planning. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you, Doctor. So for Dr. Iskandar, how many non-adult, adult human remains have been found in that valley, that Ningiri Valley? Is it male or female? From Rapunzel?
Okay, we unearthed 12 burial that consist 13 human skeleton. So all of them were adults and adults. And male or female, I think the precise number I forgot, but most of our finding were female, because my hypothesis, if the the burial were apa tu, kalau kalau positionnya dalam keadaan mengiring, ia adalah perempuan. Kalau keadaan menghadap muka ke atas tu, if the face apa tu face up ke atas tu, ia lelaki lah. Most of our apa tu burial on earth adalah apa tu female lah, female.
Okay. Alright. So ada satu lagi questions ni, Dr. Zul. How effective have the cooperation with the local community have been in
Okay.
terms of the looting of
Okay,
the
okay.
excavation site? Did you find any artifacts that found sold on the black market or open market? The question
Yeah.
Mhm.
Inilah yang apa tu, kami arkeologis amat apa tu takut apabila adanya kajian, ada golongan tertentu yang memerhatikan kita punya projek tu, and then after our project ataupun excavation was finished, some looters come in, dia come in and then dia loots dia mengganggu lah deposit arkeologi yang ada kat gua-gua tu. Itu yang kami takutkan. Tapi awareness among the local people. So apabila kejadian looting ni berlaku, so some of the local people contacts us, contact Jabatan Warisan Negara, inform that the outsiders come to their village or to the cave for looting activity. So the awareness is there lah. Kadang-kadang looting tu dilakukan oleh penduduk tempatan, tetapi apabila kita menjalankan projek seperti ini, kita bagi juga awareness to people, especially on Atta 65 lah. Looting activity ni boleh dikenakan denda dan juga penjara. So we also educate them on the Atta itself lah. Apa yang tindakan yang akan dikenakan kepada mereka yang menjalankan penjualan secara dalam talian dalam Facebook ke ataupun in the black market. Kalau in the black market ni, many buyers from Singapore lah came to Malaysia to buy all those artifact, especially associated with the prehistoric punya culture lah. Boleh Dr. Abdul Rahman ni.
So then I think the last questions, Doctor, before we conclude for both doctors, there is a question from Prof. Sazli. Dear Doctor, what is the total cost of preservations and conservation works? For Dr. Saw and also Dr. Zul. What is the total cost of preservations and the conservation works that?
Total cost?
The range of total cost, I think.
It depend on the research area ataupun rescue area lah. Kalau besar, kosnya tinggi lah. Ataupun soalan dia ada dalam berbentuk the other way around. Kalau tentang kos tentang warisan ni, memang warisan tu tak ternilai lah harganya. Saya pun tak tahu, tak faham ni soalan. Tapi kalau kos untuk menjalankan projek tu, it depend on the study area ataupun uh, research area lah that we have to apa tu conduct tu. Sometimes apa tu sometimes millions of ringgits. Sometimes kalau HIA the cost was around maybe for HIA itself maybe around 30 to 50,000 the cost. And cost yang tinggi adalah untuk menjalankan rescue excavation. Kalau tidak melibatkan rescue excavation tu costnya tak terlalu tinggi lah, below than 100,000 lah. Kalau involve rescue excavation, the cost much more higher than that lah. Maybe more than 100k, 500k or maybe million lah.
Dr. So, you have any comments on that?
For the case of rock art, the cost is a bit different because we don't do excavations. It varies, so depends on how much is the budget. We can do small scale conservation or large scale conservation. If you give me 5,000, I can do 5,000 work. 10,000, I can do 10,000 work. 50,000, I can do 50,000 work. But mainly the cost is at the 3D scanning and the group for hiring the local guides to go to the sites, and also the cloud to host a database for all this. So depending on how big or how small you want to do for the conservation and preservation, because it's quite a general questions. But this does not include if you want to apply chemical or want to build fencing for the sites, which at this current phase I don't really recommend because we don't know much about the site, the safetiness of the site. So if we're talking just about creating a rock art digital database, scanning, we can do it on various scales.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Dr. So, and also Dr. Zul Iskandar. I think that we need to conclude the session. So, as I think maybe Dr. Zul Iskandar and Dr. So can share the email. So, if someone here want to collaborate or ask more regards to the rock arts or Ningiri Valley, you can contact Dr. Zul Iskandar and also Dr. So. So, as we approach to the end of today's sessions, allow me to show some of the upcoming initiative that you might be interested in our program. Okay, first, we need your feedbacks actually. Can you scan the feedback and you answer a few questions that from our session so we can prove from time to time. So we also would like to invite the participants here and also the members of ICOMOS, anyone that interested in sharing heritage related subject, we encourage you to submit your 300 words of abstract to us, to our admin at icomos-malaysia.org. Means that to share your link, that our secretary already shared the link, that if you want to share any heritage project, any heritage stories with us, then we can give you the platform, which is Sembrani 2.0 Heritage Around Us. And then we also have a few other, a few other programs, incoming programs. Incoming programs. On the HIA, what's the program? Lynn, can you share the regards to the incoming program? On the incoming program, Lynn? Editor. Beside that, heritage impact assessment, isn't it? Coming soon, right? So then, it's okay then. So now can we on our videos and then we take our last photos for all of our participants. So as we wrap up today's Heritage Around Us session, Sembrani 2.0, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to our speakers, Professor Madya, Dr. Zul Iskandar Ramli, and also Dr. So Chow Ye, for their invaluable insight into the hidden narrative beneath our landscape. As we know that heritage is more than what we see, it is the story, it is the memories and knowledge that we preserve for our generations. Thank you to all of your participants, participations. Hopefully we can see you all for our next sessions. So let's continue to explore, protect and celebrate our culture heritage. So can you on the video so we take our last photo together to commemorate these sessions? Terima kasih semua. So hopefully that kita akan join for our next sessions, which is on the 19 hari bulan March. But kita sebab bulan puasa, so we will make it earlier, maybe 3 PM. So then untuk semua, selamat berpuasa dan take care. Bye.